Hello and welcome to another lunchtime delve into the Iberacum archives. We've got a couple of wonderful musical offerings for you today, including a full concerto at the very end of this video. And we'll also be looking at what some of the members of Iberacum Baroque have been up to over the last couple of weeks in these strange times. We're very lucky as a group that we get to perform in lots of wonderful venues, whether that's a full-scale Messiah performance in central Cambridge in Great St Mary's, or visiting lots of amazing national trusts across the country, where we do lots of varied concerts from outdoor operas to small vocal concerts or small chamber music concerts with instruments. And one of our favourite places to go is Oxborough Hall. And we always present a couple of concerts there a year, particularly towards Christmas. And the great thing about Oxborough, it's got a fantastic musical past, is that it was a recusant Catholic household at the time of Elizabeth I, and you can still go and see the remarkable priest hall there in the actual main part of Oxborough Hall. We give our concerts in the wonderful chapel in the grounds of Oxborough. And we were very, very lucky a couple of years ago to go and actually see the priest hall, and not just see it, but also sing in it. And the music that you're going to hear first today is taken from a couple of years ago when we recorded Bird's four-part mass, or a movement from Bird's four-part mass, in the priest hall itself. Of course, the priest hall wouldn't have been used for singing, but Oxborough would have been a place where this illegal singing would have happened. And that's of course why they have the priest hall. So we thought it was very apt to perform this music. Such beautiful music written for just four voices would have been sung likely by just one to a part for these illegal settings of the Catholic Mass. Really beautiful music by Bird, who of course himself was a Catholic. And we'll hear this as our first musical offering today, the Agnus Dei from Bird's four-part Mass. So now a little look at what the members of Ibrahim have been doing over the last few weeks. Of course, they're spread out all across the country, indeed in other parts of Europe as well. And they've sent in some pictures showing me what they've been up to. So we start with some of our singers. Nils Greenhow, who's over in Denmark at the moment, one of our tenors and a founder member of Ibrahim. As you can see here, he's been up to some excellent facial grooming during lockdown, looking great. Another one of our singers, Jamie Woolard, one of our bass singers, he's been practicing for his England Test cricket call-up with some slip catching practice in his back garden, going full length dive there, which is fantastic. And Tamsin, who is one of our sopranos, has been going for it with the online yoga classes. She's become a bit of a yoga enthusiast, as she told me when she sent the picture through. So great to see what our members have been up to. And now you can see a picture of me. This is me in my back garden cooking for the very first time some wood-fired pizza in lockdown. I managed to keep my eyebrows. I didn't manage to set anything on fire and cooked a fairly decent pizza for the first time, which leads us nicely onto our Italian-themed virtual concert, which, as a slight change, is coming next Saturday the 13th of June at 7 p.m. So do check that out on Facebook and YouTube. We've got a really big array of music planned for that. We're delighted to be joined by Simone, who's going to be playing some beautiful Vivaldi on the violin. John Holland Avery, a regular with Ibrahim, as are all the musicians performing in these concerts, who's going to be singing some great Italian songs, including this really catchy Venetian gondola song from the 18th century that we're going to encourage you to join in with. And then we've got cello music, we've got recorded music, we've got trumpet music, we've got oboe music, and we've got some harpsichord music too. So it's a whistle-stop tour of 18th century Italy next week, Saturday the 13th of June at 7 p.m. And the Italian flavour leads us to our big musical offering today, which is about 12 minutes long and features a recorder concerto played by Miriam Monaghan, who, as you have seen over the last few weeks, is a regular member of Ibrahim Baroque. And again, this takes us back to the Stamford Georgian Festival back in September 2019, and it was a wonderful, wonderful place to perform. Lovely audience, lovely venue, beautiful town, and we performed a vast array of music, lots of Handel, but as we always like to do with Ibrahim, we threw in a few extra pieces that people may not have heard of before, and a composer who you may not have heard of, but wrote some wonderful music, is Sammartini, and Miriam will introduce you to the concerto that you're about to hear, and a little bit about Sammartini himself.
The next piece is by a man named Sammartini, who as a composer is not very well known unless you are an oboist or a recorder player. Sammartini was an Italian who was so sort of interested in the work that Handel and Purcell were doing in London at this time that he moved to London specifically to try and work with them. And he ended up playing in many theatre pit bands and quite a few of Handel's opera bands when they were first performed. And started sort of sharing with the composers who I do a bit of composing as well. And in the end, they started to let him write concertos for his instruments, the recorder and the oboe, that would be performed during the intervals or the breaks between the acts. And he recommended to the audience that you'd most enjoy this if you had a piece of wafer-thin ham and half an orange. So I'm sorry I can't share those with you today, but if you can imagine eating those, that's how you'll best enjoy this concerto.
So I hope you can join us for our Italian-themed Baroque concert on Saturday the 13th of June at 7 p.m. Slightly different time, of course, on YouTube and on Facebook. And in the next week or so, we're going to be giving a little bit more detail on the big project we're deep into now. 25 musicians spread all across the UK and indeed Europe as well, who are working together in isolation to bring together a fantastic concert that we're really, really excited for. There's a little hint on a couple of these scores that you can see behind me. Might have to zoom in and have a look later on to do with some of the music we're going to be looking at. But it's going to be a celebration of Iberacum from large-scale pieces for choir and orchestra, and pieces for just harpsichord and cello and a solo instrument as well. So a real mix of music to look out for. We're going to be announcing quite a bit more detail soon, so do keep a lookout on our social media. We hope you've enjoyed our little concert today, delving back into the Iberacum archives, and we'll see you very soon.